600 to 750 credit score in 90 days. The current institutional blueprint. Before we dive in, advertisements may pop up on this video. Please do me a favor. Don't click off of the advertisements. Please allow them to play through as a thank you to me for sharing with you this honest, valuable information for free. Now let's continue. Most people view a credit score as a simple 3-digit number that determines if they can buy a car or rent an apartment. However, in the current economic cycle, high-net-worth individuals and sophisticated business owners view credit through a much different lens. As a critical tool for capital allocation and liquidity management. Whether you are navigating the markets in New York, scaling a firm in London, or managing assets in Sydney, Singapore, or Dubai, the ability to pivot from a 600 score, which represents risk, to a 750 score, which represents opportunity, is perhaps the most significant move you can make for your balance sheet. The thing is, the difference between a 600 and a 750 credit score isn't just about lower interest rates. It's actually about the shift from consumer-grade debt to asset-based lending and institutional trust. Today, we are moving beyond basic tips to explore a high-level strategic framework designed to repair, optimize, and leverage your credit profile in as little as 90 days. We will break down the exact mechanics of the US system as our primary case study, while providing global bridges for our viewers utilizing systems in the UK, Canada, Australia, and beyond. The journey from a 600 to a 750 begins with understanding that your credit report is, in reality, a financial resume. At 600, your resume suggests a lack of liquidity or a breakdown in debt management. To fix this, we have to look at what I call the algorithm of trust. In the United States, this is dictated primarily by FICO, whereas my viewers in the UK and Australia should look at metrics from Experian, Equifax, or Ilion. Regardless of the geography, the underlying principles of capital leverage remain identical. The banks are looking for consistency, low utilization, and a history of managing diverse credit types. Now, to move the needle quickly, we must first address the anchor of your score, the debt-to-limit ratio. In institutional circles, this is known as liquidity management. Imagine, for a moment, you have a credit limit of $10,000 and you've used $6,000. The algorithm basically sees you as a high-risk borrower who is hungry for capital. By shifting that utilization below 10%, you signal to the algorithm that you have access to capital, but do not depend on it. As a matter of fact, this single move can often result in a 50 to 80-point jump in the first 30 days of our 90-day window. Moving forward into the specific US-based tactics, it's important to understand that the American banking system is the most aggressive in the world regarding credit expansion. Let's break this down starting with the rapid res score and authorized user strategies. If you are starting at a 600, you likely have thin credit or perhaps a few derogatory marks. Now, one of the most efficient ways to inject instant age and limit into your profile is by being added as an authorized user on a high-limit, long-standing account, ideally a card from a premium issuer like American Express or Chase. This process, often referred to in B2B circles as credit piggybacking, allows the positive history of that account to reflect on your profile. You might notice that for those watching in Canada or the UK, while the authorized user impact isn't quite as dramatic as it is with US FICO scores, the principle of association still matters. Engaging with global institutions like HSBC or RBC and maintaining a clean primary account status is the foundation of building a corporate credit profile later on. On that note, Once we have addressed utilization and account age, the second month of our 90-day plan focuses on technical disputes and debt validation. In the US, the Fair Credit Reporting Act gives you the right to challenge any information that is not 100% accurate, timely, and verifiable. This isn't about hiding the truth. The point is to hold bureaus like TransUnion and Equifax to a standard of absolute data integrity. If a collection agency cannot provide the original contract or proof of the debt's validity, that anchor must be removed. What's interesting is how this leads us to a crucial bridge for our international audience. While the US has the FCRA, viewers in the UAE working with Emirates NBD or those in Singapore dealing with the Credit Bureau Singapore (CBS) have similar rights regarding data accuracy. The way I see it, the key is to move from a passive consumer mindset to an active credit manager mindset. In other words, you are auditing your own financial data to ensure that your capital allocation strategy isn't being hindered by administrative errors. So, the final 30 days of the 90-day cycle is where we pivot from repair to leverage. This is where you begin to apply for high-tier products that facilitate business lines of credit. In the US, once you cross that 700 to 720 threshold, you are no longer looking for store cards. Instead, you are looking for products that offer 0% introductory APR for 12 to 18 months. This is basically a form of arbitrage. You take the bank's liquidity at zero cost and deploy it into income-generating assets or business operations. Suppose you are a viewer in Australia using Commonwealth Bank or in the UK using Barclays. This is the moment you transition into commercial lending territory. That 750 score is your golden ticket to asset-based lending, where the bank is more concerned with the value of the asset you are buying, like real estate or a business, than they are with your personal income, simply because your credit score proves you are a master of debt management. That being said, building this level of credit velocity requires a sophisticated approach to risk management. You see, you cannot simply open and close accounts at random. Every hard inquiry is a cost of doing business. In the professional world, we call this inquiry sequencing. You must apply for the most important lines of credit first, specifically those that don't report to your personal credit bureau, such as business cards from American Express or Chase Inc., to keep your personal utilization low even while you are spending for your business. This strategy ensures that your personal score remains at that 750 level, providing you with a liquidity backstop if the market shifts. In Canada, the UK, and Singapore, the transparency of your credit file is increasing, and lenders are looking closer at your total debt burden. Therefore, at the end of the day, the goal isn't just a high score, it's a clean score with a high capacity to pay. Let's now summarize everything we have discussed and look at the main takeaways. In the first 30 days, focus on the great deleveraging. Lower your utilization below 10% and seek out high-limit, authorized user spots to build your credit foundation. In the middle 30 days, act as a data auditor. In fact, you should challenge every inaccuracy and force the credit bureaus to prove the validity of every negative mark. In the final 30 days, execute your leverage play. Secure high-limit personal and business lines of credit that allow for strategic capital allocation. Ultimately, by following this 90-day institutional blueprint, you are doing more than just raising a number. You are positioning yourself to participate in the global economy at a higher level. You are moving away from the high-interest traps of the 600-score world and into the world of asset-based lending and wealth preservation. If you found this deep dive into the mechanics of credit leverage valuable, I encourage you to subscribe to join our responsible credit community. Hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. Are you currently rebuilding, or are you looking to leverage a 750 plus score for business growth? Your engagement helps us continue to produce high-level, educational content for those serious about their financial future. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and the strategies discussed involve financial risk. Credit laws vary by jurisdiction, and you should consult with a qualified legal or financial professional before making significant changes to your credit profile or taking on new debt. Outcomes depend on individual circumstances and the current economic environment.